Thanks for staying with us. So still on the issues of ministers, we have some comments by the Minister of Power, Mr. Adebayo Adelabu, who has urged Nigerians to stop raining curses on electricity workers in the country, but always pray for them, that prayers and support would actually help them to move the power sector forward. He was also quoted as saying that the power would improve in 6 months, especially with the addition of a national grid that can produce about 700 megawatts in the next 6 months. And so these are promises from power. It's not our first time hearing from ministers of power, giving us all kinds of promises. What are your thoughts on it? The fact that he says that we should stop raining curses on electricity and we need prayer and support for the power industry. If you recall also, the president recently, doing his speech at the Nigerian Bar Association conference, which I took earlier doing the paper review, had said that we will improve power. That power is obviously key to development in our country and is an important sector for us to focus on. And the minister had said that the 2023 Electoral Act had empowered the states to take advantage of power generation, and he was going to encourage them to do just that. But what are your thoughts on this? Because as I said, it's not our first time hearing promises from the ministers. And how do you make of this promise he's saying that within 6 months, they'll add the national grid to 700 megawatts increased power? Call us on the numbers on your screen, 081-07641-679-090-241-63440. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your view TVC so we can read your tweets. Tope, you want to go ahead?
I'm all for stop cursing. I feel that we Nigerians have developed a bad habit of cursing out our leaders, cursing out civil service, cursing out service providers. It's a very bad habit because you cannot expect to be blessed by what you're cursing. You cannot be cursing something and hoping it would work. You cannot say something negative about something you are hoping something positive will come out of that thing. So I'm 100% supporting our new power minister, Adelabu, on the not raining curses on electricity workers or electricity officials. However, I don't believe in promising, over-promising. I believe in under-promising and over-delivering. And a lot of our ministers, everybody's just declaring what they will do, And I'm like, been there, done that. Let's move on. But I also don't want to sound jaded, like I'm so used to this. I want to be pleasantly shocked. I'm just being careful because Nigerians will take you at your word, and you're also setting up yourself. And I really don't want that. I'm all for praying for the administration to work, praying for power to work, and I want Mr. Adelabu's ministry to work. But promising us this much change in the power sector within a short period of time, I'm worried. I'm really worried. But yeah,
okay.
That's
so as I said before, we've gone through this before with ministers coming. In fact, even when the APC government took power
8 years ago.
8 years, was it 8 years? Yeah, 8 years ago. You know, they were saying, we can do this, we can do it, making all sort of promises, right? And then when they now entered the government, they're like,
so it be.
This is a serious matter. So after year one, we started hearing us. In fact, they were telling us 16 years of decadence for like the first 2 years. Every comment was about 16 years of rot, 16 years of this. You know, we had that for a long time, but about year 2 or year 3, that we began to really see some activities. So do you think this minister is preempting hoping that Nigerians would accept that he's going to do something good? Or do you think that it's too early to be saying all this? Or he can actually fix the problem, do you think? Are you optimistic?
I think he can fix the problem, but the question is the duration, right? So for me, I see that Nigerians are very used to not having electricity, just living life, you know, as it is, and looking for alternative sources of power, which some homes have resorted into using things like inverters, generators. But we see that the effect of this also affects the finances that are currently being put into the homes. Now, I'm very hopeful, but I do not think that 6 months is realistic.
He didn't say all of us will have power. Let us be
said it would improve. It would improve. So improving means maybe from 1 hour to 1 hour 15 minutes. Just know that things will get better over time. And then I also wanted to just maybe encourage him to say that take your time to work, to do the work. I know that there are a lot of things that Nigerians would expect from you, especially just being new into it and just want you to do a lot of things. Well, please take your time to work, and we are hopeful and we look forward to the improvement in electricity because it is not funny.
No, but he said it. He said that 70% of Nigeria's problem is power-related. He said that if he said saying 70% of Nigeria's problem will be 70% of Nigeria's problem will be solved if we get power. Obviously, that's right. We're able to get more employment. If you talk to business owners, manufacturers, they'll tell you power is their biggest cost. Even companies have had to cut down hours with which they are running their entire system because of power. So we know power is important, and our eyes are usually on the power ministers. So I'm actually wishing him the best of luck, but I like what he said. He's not saying, I will do it. He's saying that there is a law, and that is the thing. The law that has decentralized power generation. So each state can generate power, and that for me is the real game changer. And it's not him. It was done before he got there. If we're able to maximize that value chain that Lagos State is generating, Ogun State generates and sells to some parts of Lagos, everybody can solve power problem. It's now more open than before. So if we take advantage, and he probably brings in that, what do you call it? He brings everybody involved into like a round table, and we discuss how we can help each other. States that don't have the money know how to do PPP and all of that. Power issue can be easily resolved.
Let me take this call from Abubakar. Thanks for calling, Abubakar.
Good morning.
Live.
Yeah, I'm calling from Suleja, State.
Go ahead, sir.
I just want to make a comment based on the statement of the new Minister of Power.
Yes.
You know, we Nigerians were expecting a very whole lot from this new administration, especially of the president. So we don't want a situation where people are yet to start and they're already giving excuses. Especially when an excuse, the excuse that is not physical. It is a spiritual, that even these causes, are real out daily by Nigerians on the NEPA, on the power sector, and you know the right steps to take to arrest the situation of this insufficiency in power sector. I bet you are going to get a result. But you are yet to start. You're already telling us that the reason why power is not, stable is because of a lot of causes that are being real out daily by Nigerians on NEPA and all of that. Sincerely, this administration came in on the basis of capacity and incidental capacity by the man that is the heads of affairs. And I'm praying and, holding the president to really sit up, you understand? I know that he's riding on incidental capacity that he has displayed in the past. And he should not trail the usual thing of, just let, impunity. You understand?
Yeah.
But the other time I tried to call you people, even though the topic has been discussed and the time is up for that.
Okay, all right. So
Nigerians hear a different thing than what is being
Nigerians
said.
hear through the filter of their mind.
The
where
man
their
did
mind
not
is.
give excuse. It did not. The man simply said that Nigerians should stop cursing electricity workers and praying for them, that we need collaboration for power to grow, for anything to work. There's collaboration between Nigerians and the officials. How did Abubakar hear that he said the causes is the excuse for us not having power?
Hey.
I did not understand how Abubakar heard that word.
Yeah.
Because that wasn't what we said.
Exactly.
Neither was it what he said.
Well, going about dates and all that, because, government has given us a few dates, We have that by December, Port Harcourt Refinery will start. We are waiting. Because they told us Lagos-Ibadan Expressway.
April.
Was it April? Yes, April will start working. What month are we now? We're in
August.
We're in August. So they'll tell us, it's because of the rains. So they give us all these numbers. And then our jury was on this show and told us by the end of September, we're still holding him to that, because I remember I asked him, Kelly, are you sure that Dangote Refinery would start by end of September? He even sent me an article. So we'll wait till September, end of September. Hopefully that the Dangote Refinery will start working. So these are dates we keep getting, and we note them down. So he's not saying we'll all have power in 6 months. He's just saying that there will be improved power, they're going to have 700 megawatts based on the new grid that'll be added. And I think he talked about something about the dam, the Kenji Dam. I'm not sure what he was planning. So they plan to do some adjustment. We'll review this, our new minister, Adelabu, in 6 months and see how indeed power has reduced. And it's good for Nigerians to note all these dates down so that when we are calling our government to account, these are the dates we remind them of their promises. Although even though we account them, what are they going to do? Are we going to beat them?
That's the big question.
But at least they will know that we're going to be asking questions, and it will be on record that the media would show that
we have to wrap up on this, because I know that we have to speak with NEMA concerning the possible flood that might happen as a result of the dam. But before I wrap up, it's important for me to take our jury's comment, because we took the story on the paper review concerning the fact that SERAP is planning to sue the federal government, or even as the presidency, concerning the 23 or more reporters that were barred from going to the villa. So a jury has sent a message concerning that. It's important that I read it out so that we are clear. According to him, Vanguard News got their photographer removed due to redundancy. Their reporter remains. We had 97 core members, and we removed those whose presence could not be justified. No media with a reasonable size audience was affected. It's not about disallowing anyone from the villa. It's about overcrowding our facilities, and they're managing that. So according to him, we didn't just indiscriminately remove reporters from the villa. There were too many people coming from various media houses in the villa, and they had to remove some so that we have a manageable amount. I can pick the names of who I know here, Vanguard, this, I can pick all the people who are there, that there were too many of them in the villa. That is his discretion as the spokesperson in charge of media for the presidency. So
there are some names there are some newspapers that are big, that have nationwide spread.
So they'll be there. So he's saying that was not true, that is, the article itself is not true. Saying that there are people who are represented, the other newspapers, they're all represented, it's just that some people were removed.
Not entirely.
Not entirely, according to a jury, but hey, we can always verify. But I think we wanted to wrap up, but I'm told that our NEMA visitor is not here, so we might continue with our previous story. I'm told that Mr. Kazim is on the phone. Thank you, Mr. Kasumu, actually. You're live, Mr. Kasumu. Go ahead, please.
Good morning.
Morning.
Talking about the power minister, in terms of that abusing, is something that is within us, Nigeria. That before even within us here in the state, if they sit like now, we talk about it, it's part of us. So we just pray what he said should work. But I don't think it will work, but we are praying. All I'm encouraging, I hope these solar people should come in. Our Nigerians investors should invest in solar so that they will face challenges about the power sector. If they are having rival, maybe they will work on it. So that, because with this power, the federal government will generate income. But I don't know what is happening. Thank you. I'm a first caller.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kasumu. So we're going to a quick break. As I said, after the break, we're supposed to have someone from NEMA, but unfortunately, we can't reach him. So maybe we'll have the conversation another day. So we'll continue this conversation about the promises made by not just the power minister, other ministers. We'll see how we can hold them to account on all the various promises they're giving. I know that Dr. Betta Edo also told us they're going to reduce poverty or I mean, there are a few figures. We'll confirm that when we come back. But when we come back from the show, we'll discuss all the various promises we're getting from our new ministers, and hopefully we can get them accountable for these promises. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're still discussing the Minister Adelabu's comments recently when he gave a press briefing concerning some of the things he hopes to do. And one of the things that got me laughing or cracked me up when he was talking was like, we need to understand the power sector, the transmission issue. What are the issues? the generation, what are the issues? What is going on? And it cracked me up because we know the issues. There's no Nigerian that doesn't understand the issues concerning transmission, generation, and distribution, because we've been discussing it. Maybe some people don't know, but at least on the show, we are very clear on the major issues. So when a minister is going to start over on what are the issues, is that a cause for concern? Because really, there's a part of the issue that many ministers don't even know, which is with the people. Because they'll tell you cost reflective. As much as we understand what NERC will say, or based on our guidelines or our law, we should be reviewing after every 5 years. We know the issues of how are we paying cost reflective tariffs or not? These are some of the issues. Transmission, we're transmitting this amount. Distributions cannot distribute it because of the capacity. There's so many other issues that is there. So, but they are part of that to even solve it. Are Nigerians willing to pay what is required for power? Because they'll say, how much are we earning? We don't have money. We are poor. How do we pay for? So it's not just about transmission, generation, and distribution. It's the ability for you now to distribute it. Can people pay for it? So there are more issues. I mean, let me come to you, Tope, because you're also very privy to some of these issues that we'll be discussing about for years.
We're tired.
So when your minister is coming to talk about, I want to start asking about the issues. Does that concern you, or do you feel that we need?
So, we've always spoken about the importance of putting a round peg in the round hole. Means that we're putting in someone that understands clearly the challenges of the ministry and how to solve the problem into where it should be. Conversation around problem with power sector has always been the fact that even if we generate more power, our transmission, which is controlled by the government, cannot transfer that to the discos. So we have GENCOs, we have discos, and we have TCN, Transmission Company of Nigeria, in between. Privatized GENCOs, privatized disco, TCN owned by Nigeria, and GENCOs are complaining that when we generate more power and we try to push it through transmission, grid shuts down.
Yeah.
That's when we have those power collapse, because the grid will shut down because of too much energy. So what comes to disco is less than what is being generated and what their capacity to, or what Nigerians need. So the TCN is in between, and that is 100% controlled by the minister. So, sir, we know the problem. How we'll solve that problem? Infrastructural investments that the government will be putting into the TCN, that is what we want to hear more of. How we want to improve distribution by providing that more meters are everywhere, affordable.
Yes.
That is what we want to hear about.
Let me take this call from Kunle. Thanks for calling, Kunle.
Good morning, ma'am.
Morning.
Well done, no. Please permit me to quote a chapter of the Bible. The Bible says, when the foundation is being destroyed, what can the righteous do? Now, what I'm saying is that if the way Buhari's administration, through the Fashola, when he was the minister for power, the effort he made on the power generation, especially, if the previous government since 1999 have been doing that, where do you think we would be today? So the problem of corruption, sir, man, is the serious problem about this country, man. So, do you remember the Obasanjo's $16 billion?
Yeah.
$16 billion. If that money has gone to the power something by that time, shall we be complaining over the power generation today? So, if the previous government have been working rightly for the survival of this country, I don't think these people have mercy for this country. So, the money, Nigeria government money in the hand of individuals of this country. So this is time for them to come out, to bring that money out, to help this country. It's our country. We don't have another country. Let those politicians who have the chunk of the money of government money at hand, let them come out and release the money for the progress of our Nigeria, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We have to wrap up on this. I'm told that Nema is on the phone in the morning. But I think the reason why I brought that up is that the issues with power is multifaceted. And I remember, I think it was back in 2020 when Minister Fashola was trying to tell us that even when it comes to the meters, we had gotten Nigerian companies to couple these meters so that we're thinking that instead of bringing it from abroad directly, let us get these Nigerian companies to get it coupled in and then distribute. It didn't help. So we say, let Nigerians do it. We now do it. Unfortunately, they're having issues with even distributing the meters. So there were serious problems. So it's one thing to do transmission, generation. It's getting meters so that Nigerians are paying for the value they are using. So, Oga Minister, this matter, we know. But what we hope that you can help us to do is fix it. We don't want you to use in the first few months to be researching because, trust me, we already know what the problems are. We have to wrap up because I'm told that we had, but let me let you have to find out what, there's something you wanted to say?
Yes, and this DJ's situation made us more aware of the fact that, yes, electricity is not even enough in Nigeria, but we realized that we're giving power, selling to Benin Republic, to Togo, and to Niger. And sometimes we begin to ask questions like something will never reach us. How come we're giving it out and we're complaining about these things?
Okay, so thank you very much. So as I said, we know the problems. We need a minister who is telling us, based on what the problems are, this is what I'm doing, bam, bam, bam. And he has told us a few already that he's going to be fixing some of the they're going to be adding national grid, and they'll be also fixing quite a number of the dams that we need to generate electricity. So these are some of the things we want to see, but I'd like to hear, more importantly, how we get meters to every single home in Nigeria within the shortest period of time. So I'm told now that we have our guest from NEMA to give us an update concerning the release of the Cameroonian Lagbo Dam very soon. We'll have the spokesman, National Emergency Agency, Mr. Manzo Ezekiel, on the phone with us. Good morning, sir. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, we're happy to have you on the show. According to the story I took in the papers, so the dam will be released very soon. They didn't give us a specific date, but according to the reports, you've already contacted the governors across these states to begin to prepare for it. Could you give us an update on that so far?
As a matter of fact, the release of the water has already begun.
Oh, okay.
Because the information that is circulating is something that is overtaken by time. The authorities, the Cameroonian authorities that are managing the dam have already commenced the modulated release of water from excess water from the dam. Yes.
Thank you. Okay.
And the release of this excess water is also in our interest because the capacity of the dam is about to reach its maximum, and if it is allowed to reach its maximum, anything can happen. So it's only good that they release the water gradually, and this is not coming to us by surprise. Because in our preparation for flood management, we envisage that a situation like this may arise. So we have taken note of this in all our preparations for mitigation and response to flood this year.
So you mentioned that you've prepared ahead, but from the pictures and videos that are online, we would think about that preparation level. And my question would be that why is this a recurrent problem every year such that people have to leave their homes, properties are being destroyed, and we say that we're working on it every year?
No, we are talking about rain, and rain do not constitute negativity to us. It's part of human existence. But the situation where you mentioned that people will have to leave their homes or get their property and life lost is because people are refusing to heed to the warning and advice that are always given to them. Because if you build on floodplains, what do you expect? You expect that when the flood comes, you will be washed away. So it's part of the action plans or activities that we are carrying out by way of sensitizing the people to move away from floodplains so that they will not be washed away by water.
So I wanted to ask you about shelter arrangements. We know that NEMA always gives this warning that people should move, and the reason some people don't move and their lives gets, we suffer fatalities in this avoidable situation is because we don't have options for them. And like Toby said, we've had this several times. So it would be expected that going forward, wherever there is a floodplain, we would have a shelter arrangement where people can move to when the flood comes. Do we have shelters yet? And what are the conditions of the shelters that are available? Then how is NEMA partnering with states to support them in providing relief to areas where you can't avoid it? There will be crisis with the dam being released.
The first thing I would say here is that we must understand that the responsibility of moving people from floodplain lies with the state government. Yes, it lies with the state government, and that is why immediately we got a lot of these floods. The NEMA has written to all the state government to prepare them, you know, to prepare their people to relocate to a safer place. And I must tell you that many people are living illegally. Many people are living illegally in locations that are prone to flood. So, as a matter of fact, this year, by the grace of God, our flood warning have been receiving a lot of positive response. And we, by the grace of God, we are expecting that with the level of awareness that we are having, we are not likely to have the worst of case scenario.
Thank you. So who's going to be monitoring compliance by the state government? I mean, as you said, it's really not in your hands. It's for the state governors to provide this support. And many of them have various funds that have been available to them. But some of them are not doing the right thing. So who monitors compliance and who ensures that Nigerians are actually well taken care of during this period?
Well, it's not a matter of who is monitoring compliance, but it's a matter of a collective response to a situation like this. The federal government has its own responsibility, the state has its responsibility, the local government and the community, we all have our responsibility. So we expect that in circumstances like this, everybody must be up and doing, because we are talking about saving lives and property here.
Okay. Okay, I think there's pretty much that's all we can take on that. But thank you. That is, we know that you've been able to alert the state governors, and hopefully they can do what they need to do ASAP before things get really worse. Thank you, sir. I mean, I know we've discussed this matter several times on the show, where, you know, in other parts of the country, world, where it's volcano prone, it's tornado prone, they kind of know and prepare for these things. Either they board up, they have different natural disasters that they still choose to live in those areas. But because they know it's coming, they have a way, they have a season. So the system kind of helps them to adjust. But I think we need to get to that point in our country where this is flood. It's not like tornado and the whirlwind that just comes in. We need something. You have to actually physically move to a higher ground area that would not cause issues. So you can choose to come out during the certain season, but there has to be a more calculated approach by state government to protect citizens within this area.
Ecological funds be spent in the right areas. We know this. We have an idea of the solution, but we're hoping that our leaders would implement the best options available to them to bring about the solution.
Fortunately, that's all we can take on today's show. Hope you learned a few things as we have. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.